and sprinkle the olives. Now cheese layer. I love cheese almost as much as I love olives. Honestly, it's just in the fact that it's kind of gross to see someone eat a bunch of grated cheese, but I haven't been doing that on the camera. Trust me, I usually do. Like ricotta cheese, you can't really do that. With ricotta cheese, sometimes it's a little hard to get it spread out. If anyone has any tips, tell me, because the best that I can usually manage is to just kind of do with my fingers. Like I said, I wash my hands. You're just going to have to deal. This is what I do. Kind of flatten it out with your fingers. So, because it's really, it's very solid cheese. Like, for a cream cheese, it's very easy to work with. It doesn't really get all over your fingers, but you just want to kind of pat it out. And I'm sorry you can't see this. Pat it out. You don't need to do like a solid layer of cheese. You just kind of want to have it, I'm going to bring it over to the camera in a minute. You want to have it kind of spread thinly over the sauce so that when you're done, the sauce still kind of peeks through. Remember, when it cooks, when it's baking, it will melt. Speaking of which, I'm going to turn on my oven. It'll melt out a little bit because it's cheese. So that'll work fine. Preheat oven about 350. So ricotta layer, mozzarella cheese layer. This is the stuff I've been refraining from eating in front of you guys. Because it does look kind of gross when someone just puts a lump of grated cheese in their mouth, because it gets all over the place and bleh. So I didn't want that kind of stuff with me on YouTube. That's not much fun. Olive. So, second layer. Same as the first. A little bit down with my whole out first. One thing I kind of like to do is to crisscross the noodles. So if you laid them one direction, cross the next layer perpendicularly. Makes it easier to cut and keeps the lasagna together when you put it on the plate. Or more together. Lasagna honestly is difficult to keep completely together. I don't know why. I think just because it's got so much stuff in it. But I try. If you've got gaps in the side, you can put another noodle over that. It's not going to be a big deal. Kind of can work as like a crust around the sides. If you've got a half of a noodle like I do because I messed up breaking it, that works even better. You can get really fancy and cut your noodles if you want to try that, but you know, it's lasagna. It'll cook together, it'll cook apart, it'll do whatever. So, second layer. I usually do 3 layers of meat, and then the 4th layer is just the cheese and the sauce. I just like to do it that way. I think it tastes good that way, so if you want to try it my way, then leave enough meat for just one more layer after your second layer and you're good. This layer is going to be a little bit weird because some of the bigger slices of sausage got into it, but like I said, Greg will just do. He's used to it. So make sure when you're pouring this layer out that you have enough sauce for 2 more layers. The last layer is just going to be meat and cheese. Second to last layer will be meat and olives and tomatoes and cheese. The last layer will be sauce and cheese. The second to last layer, which we'll be doing next, will be everything but the meat. You'll see. I'll show you. Just make sure you have enough sauce for 4 layers. Make sure the olives are all over it. It's just nice. It tastes good. Kind of push your tomatoes down into the sauce, and you know, I know I just said like make sure you have enough sauce, but also make sure that your sauce is covering everything, because that's really the stuff that holds it all together, and it just makes it. It's not lasagna without the sauce. It's just casserole. Okay. Noodles. So this is our second to last layer. Meat in it. This is the last layer with meat. too much of the actual sausage grease. And try not to let the meat get stuck under the noodles, just like I did, because you have to fix it. Because otherwise your noodles will be kind of bunched up and stuff, and it's best if they're flat. This lasagna that I'm making will usually feed family of like 4. I just make it for me and Greg, and we can only put away about a third of it. We're both kind of tiny people, and so you'll end up with a lot of leftovers unless you have a larger family or your husband eats a ton. Greg doesn't really eat a ton. He eats a lot, but not a whole lot. So, okay, sauce. You can use a spoon sometimes to spread the sauce out. Get it all over the layer. Like I said, you really want the sauce over everything. So otherwise you get dried out spots. You get weird spots in lasagna. It doesn't taste as good. Flavors don't mesh, you know. And then ricotta cheese. Sorry about my fingers. It's just how I cook. Getting your fingers into everything is part of the fun of being in the kitchen. You're allowed to, because you're cooking. No one can say that you're doing it wrong, because you're doing it. I mean, what the heck? You're making your dish. They want to tell you that you shouldn't be doing that, you should get out of your kitchen. It's your kitchen, as long as you're cooking in it. And if you're at your friend's house and they're like, don't put your finger in the cheese, tell them you're making the dish and they should back off. Either that or put a bunch of cheese in their hair. You know, that works too. Okay. Lots of ricotta cheese on this layer, partly because I want to make sure to use up the container. Ricotta cheese, I know that there's lots of other things you can do with it. I really don't usually have it unless I'm making lasagna, so I forgot the olives. If you forget a layer and an ingredient like I did, that's okay. Just stick them up on top. It's no big deal. Now I should go back and find out that I didn't forget the olives and I just put more olives in. I might have done that on purpose. I really love olives. I can't say that enough, but it's true. I mean, I had a birthday party once where all I wanted for my birthday, like I didn't even want cake, I wanted olives. So my mom got me olives and cake, because my mom's cool like that. So now to make up for possibly having forgotten the olives, there's double the amount of olives on this layer, which is fine by me. These are tongs I got for getting married. I love them. Okay. This is our final layer of noodles. The meat's already gone. You can go a little crazy on the final layer of noodles if you want to really cover everything up. It just bakes nicely that way. I don't know. I probably will, because I ended up with a few extra noodles. I don't really know how, because I did measure it out like I told you guys to, but now I have extra noodles. So, I don't know. That's the other thing about lasagna. It's the reason you kind of want to measure it out, because with your noodles. Because what are you going to do with extra lasagna noodles? I mean, if anyone has any suggestions, tell me, because I got 4 leftovers, and my pot's almost full. So, I don't know what I'm going to do with the extra ones. Honestly, I really don't care. Like, I'll probably just feed them to the cat, who's going to say hi to you at the end of this little